Hey, Forge fans, Anthony Urciuoli with you. It's the match in review on the Forge Audio Network, and the match to be reviewed is the final of the regular season. Forge FC with a 1-0 win over Halifax right here at Tim Hortons Field in Hamilton. What does that mean for the playoff picture? We knew Forge had clinched. Now we know who they're playing and what days they will be playing at home versus on the road. So it will be Forge FC versus Cavalry FC in the CPL semifinal. The first leg will be played in Calgary. Leg 2, though, that is on October 23rd, and that will be played right here at Tim Hortons Field. Make sure to secure your tickets, forgefc.ca/tickets. Intriguing matchup between Forge and Cavalry. We'll have all week to preview that. Before we get there, though, let's talk about how we got to this point now, as Forge clinching second seed on the CPL table. They did so on the heels of a Kwesi Poku goal. Now, such a great story. First of all, Kwesi Poku, he's had a big year. It's his first year as a pro. He played for the Canadian national team and logged some big minutes and some big moments for Forge FC. Now predominantly used as a fullback with some added responsibility for this match. The confidence shown in the youngster, playing in a 10 role as an attacking midfielder. Forge going with more of a 3-4-1-2 formation, and it was Poku who scored what would be the winning goal in the 8th minute. And the goal, going into this match, we talked about how much better Forge plays when they look a little more relaxed, fluid, instinctual in the way kind of the flow of the game is happening. There's not a ton of thinking. It's just they're letting their quality speak for itself. And in this case, the goal started because of a steal from Ashton Morgan. Forge very aggressive pressing in Halifax's defensive half of the field. So Morgan with the press, he steals the ball. He delivers it to Pacius. Pacius now playing as one of the two strikers, with Emery Walshman playing the other role. Pacius, though, with having that dual striker role, Pacius playing more of a number 9, a false 9, able to drop back. He dropped into space as Morgan was coming. A little give and go. All of a sudden, the ball finds itself into the feet of Kwesi Poku in the box, and he did what we've been talking about. Don't think, just shoot. He took one touch. He wasn't too happy with that first touch, but it didn't matter because he was able to just turn and shoot, and that is the goal that clinches second spot for Forge FC. Why is second place so important? Well, you finish third or fourth, you're not hosting the second leg of a semifinal, you're hosting the first. I mean, that's number one. You always want to kind of host that second one. Also, if Ottawa lose their semifinal against Pacific and Forge beat Cavalry in their semifinal, Forge would host a championship game against Pacific here at Tim Hortons Field. I'm sure they want to finish first, but second place, it's better than third. Let's just simplify it that way. Post-match, Kwesi Poku took the podium. He talked about his year. It's been, I mentioned, interesting year. National team. First year as a pro, playing with a club on Forge FC who has a lot of depth, a lot of proven players. It's not always easy for a young player to get minutes on a club that is at this level and has seen this level of success as Forge has. But Kwesi Poku steps in, gets a big role, and he rewards his coaches and his teammates for the faith they showed in him. Here's Kwesi post-match. The confidence shown in you from the coaching staff, from your teammates, and then to be able to reward them with a goal has to be a pretty good feeling.
Yeah, it's a great feeling. I feel like I've been training well, and I feel like Bobby saw that in me, and the coaching staff had faith in me, and they gave me my opportunity today, and I feel like I took it, and it's just a great moment for me and my family.
It's such a big leap this year. You played internationally, even with Forge as a fullback, that role's a little different with a lot of the overlaps and the work with the wingers, and then now you're playing midfield. It's just your versatility and to be able to jump into those roles. Just how would you kind of sum up the year just in terms of growth for you as a player?
Yeah, I feel like I grew a lot. Something I pride myself in a lot is being a versatile player and being a very coachable person that I can be put anywhere on the pitch and do well and make a difference in the team. So I feel like I've grown a lot this year. I've learned new positions, been around a lot, and I'll just continue to grow.
You excelled in it, and it was evident with that goal. Just give us an idea as to what you saw as the ball was played into you. Was that planned to hit first time, or you just really went with the flow?
Well, I actually wanted a better setup touch for myself. I wanted it to be a little bit more forward so I could curl it, but I took the touch, it kind of bounced, and I said, why not? I took a chance, and it worked, so yeah. Yeah, I definitely liked it in the midfield. That's somewhere where I've played majority in the past, and I also like out wide. It's good as well, but I definitely prefer midfield. But whatever helps the team the most is where I want to be, so yeah.
How do you feel now going into next weekend, knowing it will be 2 games against Cavalry, and it's very possible you could be hosting the final here?
Yeah, they're obviously a good team, and we're preparing for them. But I think we're confident. We're carrying a lot of momentum now. The mood in the locker room is great. You know, the boys are buzzing right now after this win, and I feel like we can just carry this performance into the playoffs. And we've done well today, so yeah.
Now, it was an interesting look from Forge in this one. I mentioned the 3-4-1-2 formation. You had Malik, Ashton Yodi-Janssen, and Dominic Samuel playing as the defenders in this one. Kind of 3 center backs there, although Dom played a little bit wider. And then you had Ashton Morgan and Sissoko as in those wing back roles. And in the midfield, you had Becker, Hojabrapor, Sissoko, and Ashton Morgan. So you had the 4-man midfield with Becker and Hojabrapor in the middle. Hojabrapor playing more of a holding position, and then Poku as the 10 as the attacking midfielder, and then the double striker role going to Pacias and Emery Welshman. Talking about the match, the formation, the look, all kinds of things. Head coach and technical director Bobby Smirniotis taking the podium after the win against Halifax.
A lot of confidence shown in Kwesi today with more of an attacking role, and he rewarded himself and everybody with that goal. Just your thoughts on his play?
Yeah. First of all, you have to warn me when you're going to come in freshly shaven. Huh?
So I told everyone you sent me a cease and desist, so I shaved it.
Yeah, Kwesi, he's a player in training who shows very good qualities in the attack. You know, he's a young guy, you know, who has got a lot of different qualities, and we'll be able to see him, I think, in the future in different areas of the pitch. This was a game where we thought, you know, we wanted to change shape up a little bit, see a few things that maybe we may want to use or look at in the playoffs. And one of those things was seeing him in that position, because he brings the qualities that he showed on that goal. You know, his striking ability towards the goal, just finding seams, and his accuracy to the goal are very good, and he showed it early on in this match.
Despite what people may have said about this being, you know, a game with nothing to play for, finishing second versus third, it could be a big difference in not just the semifinal, but even a final as well. So just your thoughts on where the club finished.
Yeah, of course, you want to finish as high as possible. You know, we always aim for the top. You know, it's not that we're the happiest people if you see our club when we clinch the playoffs. You know, we're not a team that's celebrating that and in full joy of that when that comes. You know, we want to be as high as possible. This is where we land this year, which gives us that advantage of having that second game at home. It's always important, you know, in a playoff situation where you know in the second game what the result kind of needs to be, that you're playing that in front of your home fans. And you give yourself an opportunity moving even forward. You know, there's no point in looking forward to anything beyond these 2 games against Cavalry. I think, you know, they'll be exciting games as they've been throughout the 4 years of the league. But yeah, we're looking forward to it.
What do you tell the guys in order to at least improve that and give you guys a better chance at starting the game on the right foot?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I told them the same thing I've told them before the previous games as well. You know, as coaches, we have an opportunity to touch the players, to work on things, but when the referee blows the whistle, it's the guys out there, and I say that in a very positive way. You know, they go out there and they execute game plans. Sometimes it may be different than the game plan, and as coaches, we get credit, but we've done nothing about it, and the players' brilliance has brought it on. You know, today the guys went out there in a forceful manner. Not only the goal, but we've done a good job of really getting them to turn the ball over to us higher up the pitch. You know, so it's one thing I asked for the guys is to really make a commitment to being higher up on the pitch in the way we were defending. And I think we didn't do that in the last match against Pacific. We did it well after the 20th minute against York, and when we do that, we're at our best.
How do you feel with how you guys have played and where you guys are heading to the playoffs?
Yeah, I think the one thing you have to look at is when Forge started their season comparative to everyone else in the league. On January 15th, we came into preseason training. We all left this building, I believe it was on December 17th of the previous year. And the year before that, we also we left this building on December 15th when everyone else was done on September 10th. This team has spun 2.5 years non-stop football. That's not easy and high level football. And we asked them with a relatively new group this year, coming in here very early. And, that extended part of the season, it takes its toll on a team who hasn't had a lot of rest in the last two off seasons. And I think that's a little bit of, the results we've seen lately. But you look at this year, and again, for us, it's been fantastic. You start off playing in Champions League. We can't forget that's now in 2022 that's happened. It was early on in Champions League. We're a penalty shootout away from lifting a Canadian Championship trophy. So once again, we're the team that's done things first in many ways. Playing in Canadian Championship final first, played in CONCACAF Champions League, coming out of this league, and I think if you look at 2/3 of the season, it's been absolutely brilliant. We've lost a little bit of that football. A little joke is we're goal line technology from being in first too, so the margins are very slim, and we can say everything we want, but we've got to be better, and we know that going into the playoffs. This is a whole new season. Throw everything out. Whatever you guys have seen all season, throw it to the side, because these are much different matches, especially when you go into the home and away games. Last year we played single match in the semis, single match in the finals. This is a different ball game. So I think it's going to be exciting for the fans. I think it's going to be exciting for the league, and I think it's going to be a little bit fun for us as well.
You was happy what you saw today, or what are you maybe planning and maybe need to modify during the game?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for the players is they wanted themselves. They wanted to finish as high up in the standings. If you ask me as a coach at this point, if you're not going to finish at the top, then it doesn't really make a difference, because I think the margin between the teams is very thin between all four teams that are playing in the playoffs right now. But I think as a team, that's the character that they show. They came out in this game, which and they wanted to make sure they're as high up there in second place and have that small advantage in this first playoff round of having the second game at home, and that shows the character of the players, because I thought in the first half it was very good. In the second half, I don't think it was the best performance from both sides, but get ready for it, because that's what the playoffs are going to look like a little bit in some situations in some of these games. So from there on, I'm happy with the players from that. We've come out very good to start the match, something that we've been talking about a lot. So you take all those positives, you take the 3 points, and now we get prepared for Saturday coming up.
Do you think...
Now, I also want to let's have a listen to the Halifax side of things here. Stephen Hart, head coach for Halifax. Challenging year for that club, a young club. They lose their top scorer from a year ago. They're in a bit of a rebuild type phase, and it showed on the table, right? Second last place is where Halifax finished. Here's Stephen Hart post-match, though, talking about their approach against Forge on Sunday afternoon in Hamilton. And just because, listen, soccer people, they're interesting to listen to when they talk about philosophy, those kinds of things. Let's have a listen to Stephen Hart. I thought he had some interesting things to say post-match for Halifax.
Look, you really have nothing to lose at this stage in the season. And I think Andre said it well. It sort of summarized the kind of season we had, getting to good positions. That final pass or just taking the chance wasn't really there. But I also, I know I have to be realistic. Forge, their mind was not really on this last game so much. They tried to manage the 1-0 and let us make the mistakes, and they play off the counter attack. But I thought we defended the counter-attack fairly well. Overall, their game plan, they were going to wait for those 1 or 2 chances and take it, which they are very good at. But overall, I thought we managed the second half well. I mean, if you look at last season, we had 8 wins and 11 ties, right? This year, we are a much younger team, and it's no fluke that the 3 youngest teams are the 3 teams at the bottom of the table. And when I say the youngest teams, it's okay to talk about young players in the limelight in big football at the moment, but you're talking about first-year professionals, which we have 8, you know? So there's a huge learning curve of training every day, having to come to work every day and be on top of your game. That's not easy. That's not easy. And I think they'll be better for it the following year. And I could say that there are a couple of young players that showed that they have something in them. They have that hunger. They want to learn. They're not afraid to play. These things are important because you can't coach enthusiasm, and some of them definitely have it.
All right, there was Coach Stephen Hart, and this has been the Match in Review. Tickets, playoff tickets, on sale now. October 23rd, Forge FC hosting Cavalry in the second leg of a home-and-home semifinal. Remember, away goals are not weighted any differently. So it's just the aggregate between the 2 matches, Forge getting to host that second one, and you can be there to watch it live, forgefc.ca/tickets for your chance to watch post-season soccer here at Tim Hortons Field. All right. That was the Match in Review. Keep it locked onto the Forge Audio Network. Subscribe however you get your podcasts. Subscribe on YouTube as well. All the social media channels, because content will be dropping like crazy this week as we get you prepared for the semifinal against the arch rival Cavalry FC. I'm Anthony Urciuoli. This is the Forge Audio Network. This has been the Match in Review. We'll talk to you soon.
This has been Match in Review with Anthony Urciuoli on the Forge Audio Network. For the latest on all things Forge FC, subscribe on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.